Hey. This is J.R. McNair here for the Entrepreneur Spotlight. Super excited to be in the house once again to highlight a phenomenal entrepreneur. It is the seasons is changing. We're getting close to Christmas, the end of the year. And I mean, it's some phenomenal things happen. We always want to be with family. And so, when we think about family, we think about several things. We'll think about our kids and we'll think about our parents, right? And
That's
so,
right.
and that's something that's very, very important. And so, I have a wonderful guest on with me here, Miss Mon'nique Prince of My Elderly Parents, and she's doing some phenomenal things. I'm telling y'all, when y'all hear what she's doing, you're gonna be like, I need that for my parents. Okay, and so I just want to have her in here. She hails from the great state of Alabama, doing some phenomenal things. But My Elderly Parents soon will be expanding all across the country, but right now, specifically in Alabama, and she's doing some great things. Mon'nique, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Most definitely. So just tell people about who you are, like how just tell them about who you are and just how you got into like doing what you do, and just give your background and just everything. Just kind of give them kind of a brief synopsis of how you got here today to be with your business.
Sure. Well, I started, this idea came back in 2015
Okay.
when my mom was in the nursing home for rehab. And as I walked through the corridors, I seen a lot of people just, laying in their beds. They're lonely, looks like nobody's checking on them. And that gave me the idea someone needs to do a wellness check on these people here that are long residents. And I understand life be life and for a lot of people, and you don't have time to actually, check on them as you would like to check on them. And that's where I come in at. I want to provide a service for a wellness check for nursing homes, for even your home as well. A lot of people, they don't have time to check on their loved ones as they need to. And we need that. They're lonely. They need companionship from family, friends. And it may not be all the case because a lot of people are actually, busy to have a high demanding job. They're not able to come and check on you as they would like to. They may live out of state, and I'm in the state where your parents live at. Even your loved ones, it could be a sibling that's need to be checked on. That's where I would come in at, and I would actually provide you a preliminary report. Go sit with them, for an hour or so, and just talk with them and see how they're doing, and provide you a report on their well-being. But I love taking care of the elderly. It's always been one of my passions to do so. Even as years of being an insurance agent, I've seen the elderly, they always needed help, and I was always there for them. So it's just a passion for me. Once you find your purpose in life, which God gave me this purpose, He say take care of His elderly. Take care of His poor. That's what I'm here for. I'm providing this service for you so I can give you a mind, set your mind at ease while you're moving on day to day with your life, and just providing you this information until you're able to get to your loved one.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's a big thing. I mean, sometimes my dad is up there in his like mid 70s, and great thing. He's still like moving around like he's a young man. But that's not how most people's parents are. My mom had she passed, like, as a matter of fact, about 10 years ago exactly. In less than a couple days, it'll be a 10-year anniversary since she passed. But she had a seizure, or in the time she passed, or it was something to that effect. But anyway, she passed during that incident. But
Mhm.
if she would have been here, and there would have probably been some major consequences from that, injury, that brain injury that she had. So with that being said, I'm working, making things happen. My dad is making things happen, but just being able to have somebody there to kind of check on them, I know that would have been something that I would have definitely wanted to know on a consistent basis. So, so tell let's go in. You're saying that your company right now, you're not actually you're not going in offering the actual care for them. You're providing these checkups to make sure that people know what's going on. Need to make sure, hey, I need to know, because if you're on the phone with a parent, sometimes they don't want you worrying about them. So they may be like, hey, I'm fine. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I'm good. They may be jacked up, may be hungry, may be cold in there. Because I know a lot of people don't want people, especially your parent, don't want you worrying about them, right?
Exactly. That is correct. And that's why I said this is definitely needed because, they'll tell you anything over the phone, not knowing what their needs are. And you need to be aware of that. There easily may be some confusion for them on their part. They need additional assistance that you don't know anything about. And that's where I come in at. My company comes in and sit down with them, talk to them, see what their needs are so we can let you know so we can actually get a plan for them to help them through their lifespan. But it's very important to check on your loved ones for a number of reasons. And we got to take care of them as long as we can within our ability.
Yeah, totally. And so talk to us about how the process works. Like, so if somebody's like, hey, you know what? I want to get my loved one in place and rolling and going. Like, how does the process work? Like, what do I need to do? How do I go about getting this service?
So you can go to my website. It's called myelderlyparents.com. You can actually request a schedule appointment. I will reach out to you. We'll go over some preliminaries, what we're going to do, the questions we're going to ask. There, of course, there's some disclaimer we have to provide. We don't do a companionship where we actually come out and do things like clean up or look at their medicine. That's not what we do. We're there to check on them, on their physical health, visibly, mental health as well, and make sure they're providing they're getting the nourishment that they need. But you can, like, again, you can just email us also at info myelderlyparents.com, or go to my website at www.myelderlyparents.com, and I will be more than happy to talk with you personally to get you set up for we can get someone out to check on your parents or loved one.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely, and I think that's great. I mean, because first off, a lot of the issues that we have is because we don't know. I remember when I was a kid, they used to have this cartoon called Transform. Well, no, it was GI Joe, and it was like knowing is half the battle, right?
Yes,
And,
exactly.
and so because if you know, then you can plan, you can adjust.
Exactly.
What happens a lot of times is that we know stuff at the last minute, and it's kind of hard to make things happen, right?
That
And
is correct. That's definitely correct. And that's where, a lot of people they just, they need that help. And some people just don't know how to find that help or go by getting that help. And that's where I come in at. I'm here to provide that, to give you that ease so you can continue on with your life as well, if anything that's needed for your loved one, your parents, or, a sibling, whatever the case may be. Because there are people who have siblings that are not in great health and they need to be checked on too as well. So it's just not just for parents, but we're able to provide for any of your loved ones, your siblings, your cousin, whatever the case may be. We want to give you that service to give you a peace of mind that your loved one is okay when you can't get to them.
so tell me, like when you're going there, you're providing a wellness check, and just and also just a companionship piece on that end. So first off, talking about the wellness check, what are some information that I would know after you did this? Like, what was some information that I would have as a a child of my parents, having them checked on? What information would I have to help give me that peace of mind and understanding of where they currently are?
We'll have a series of questions that we'll go in and we'll ask the client, just, checking on their mental state. There are several questions we'll have. Once we do that preliminary report, we'll email that to you. If
Okay.
we feel like there's a conversation that need to be had for anything that we've noticed, like lack of mobility, if they need food, whatever, any additional care that looks like they need, we would definitely have that personal conversation with you to let you know, hey, this is what I see and this is what we need to do. We can suggest what you need to do for your loved one. Also, too, as well, if there's anywhere there we see that it's an emergency, as they need to be at a hospital or facility, we're going to call to make sure we're not just going to leave them. We're going to call the authorities and get someone to help them immediately. And then, of course, you will be contacted too as well. But we want to do whatever we can to provide a great service for you. But you will get a preliminary report of your loved one.
Totally, totally. And so I get that preliminary report. I have that. I see these pieces on this end. And so if let's just say they like, yeah, I'm good with food, but then you go in there and see they don't really got no food. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, you know,
Exactly.
I'm fine, and then they try to stand up and they can barely walk across the room. You get what I'm saying? So
Yes, those would be documented. That information will be documented and provided to, the requester. We would definitely provide that information to you, let you know, hey, they don't have the food that they need. They ran out their medicine. They hadn't contacted anybody. They missed their doctor appointment. Those are the things we're going to ask. It's not going to be like an interrogation. It's going to be in conversation where we're just going to sit down and say, hey, how are you doing today? How you should sleep. Are you sleeping pretty good? Did you take your medicine earlier today? Have you eaten today? Those questions going to be within a conversation. It won't be like right behind each other, but we want to make them comfortable. We don't want them to feel like this is some type of interrogation.
yeah, totally. So so one thing is giving that wellness check, but people are lonely out here. I mean, shoot,
They are.
everybody. I mean, Thoreau talked about in his book Wall, he talked about how us as human beings, we're social creatures, and it's
Yes.
important for us to be around other people and interact and make those things. So because that gives life to us and to them, and so when
Exactly.
people are not around people, I mean, it's kind of like, I believe they're it's just the joy, the peace, the value, the quality of life, all those things, having something to look forward to. That's why you see a lot of spouses when their loved ones end up passing away, or one of their spouses end up passing away, shortly thereafter they end up following, right? And so
Exactly.
that, because the lack of companionship. Can you
That's
talk
true.
about how big of an issue that is? And
Yes, that is a good point to bring up. There are a lot of people that are lonely that don't have anybody to check on them. They feel like they're left alone. Don't nobody care. But we want to come in, sit down, have a good conversation with them, and if that needs to be twice a week, twice a month, whatever the case may be, what you feel that's best for them, and we're going to suggest those. We see that they're not actually having any social activity, uh even with speaking to neighbors, or going outside getting fresh air, something like that, we're going to let you know, but we're going to be there for them. We'll spend an hour with them just to let them know we're here for them. They can give us a call, and anything that we can actually provide them, we would definitely do that too. For as if they need some type of care, we'll get with you and let you know what we suggest, or get you to the right people that can actually assist with those requests. But we want to let them know that they're not alone. You're not here on this earth by yourself. We're here to help you, and we love and we care about you.
and the beautiful thing I like about it is they getting two in one, right? You get
Exactly.
the companionship piece and you're getting the wellness check piece. So you're getting them somebody that they're going to be familiar with, somebody's going to be checking on them, somebody's going to understand when the continence has changed with somebody, things like that. And these aren't medical professionals, but these are people that can address and see these things to end up alerting a medical professional to say, hey, this is what's going on, or alert you, on that end. And then the fact that they get companionship too on top of that, because I'm telling you, if you look at the facts, I'm just going to read some stuff over here. Over 25% of older adults report feeling isolated or lacking companionship, right?
That's true.
Around 28% of adults age 65 or older are living independently in the United States. So it's about a third of the people are living alone, okay, independently. And then mental health, cognitive declines, social isolation is linked to a 50% increased risk of developing dementia.
That's
So just when people are by themselves, social isolation, they will increase dementia by 50%. That is crazy. So you can decrease their chances of having dementia by just having them interacting with people, right?
exactly.
The risk for early death can be comparable to smoking or obesity. So you're talking about social isolation can increase your risk factor for early death in the same way that smoking or obesity can, which is crazy.
It's great.
It's increased higher rates of chronic disease, including heart disease, hypertension, diabetes. I mean, man, it's crazy. Risk factors, when you the death of a spouse, as I mentioned before, can contribute to this. Physical disabilities, lack of transportation, social can limit social interaction, right?
That is definitely true.
Conditions like hearing loss, and all these things, leaving the workforce, often can reduce the daily and social interaction. So when they're retiring, they say, "Oh, I'm retiring," but then when they get home, they say, "Man, I don't see Sally, I don't see Jack, I don't see Bob at the office every day.
That's
So
true.
I don't get to interact with them."
That's true. Yeah.
And so, and then it's just so much more, like health services, when you're looking at this, when lonely or they're socially isolated, they need more health services, including like emergency care, which increases overall healthcare costs.
That is correct.
This lack of companionship
Mhm.
can shift to emotional, logistical burdens, all these things. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy the amount of information that is out here on this. So you literally out here, Mon'nique, saving lives. Do you
Well, I
hear me?
won't go that far.
No. Listen, the data says that. Look, this the data. I'm reading from the data. It's saying that social isolation is a risk factor for early death, comparable to smoking or obesity. So the same way that if somebody got somebody to stop smoking, by just having somebody be around somebody and not be socially isolated, this could it's comparable to somebody if they sitting there and just eating themselves into an early grave through obesity. I mean, so no, you are out here saving lives 50%. And it's not only that you're saving lives with it stuck there, but you're increasing the value of life, because who wants to be, around and they can't remember what's going on?
That's
So
true. That's true.
decreasing the amount by 50% from people potentially developing dementia, you
I,
saving
yay.
lives.
Anything I can to, to keep people here as long as I can. I'll do my best with that. Cause I love my elderly. Cause I know one day, and that's another thing we have to look at. We're going to get old one day. I'm not far fetched from it, but we're all going to age. So I'm looking at, I want to start this now because one day I may need my own service
Totally.
because of this, because people are lonely. People just need companionship. They want to talk to folks. They don't want to be left alone. And I do understand that. But most definitely, anything I can do to assist, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, listen, if somebody's right now, I want you to give some advice. Like, if I'm here and I'm like, hey, like I got my parents right now. Like, when should I have somebody checking on them? Is there a specific age? Is there, like, is there some things that maybe if they have an issue, or when should I be doing this? Should everybody be having somebody to check on their parents? Like, tell me, like, give me the guidance on who this needs to be best suited for, or who parents needs to be best suited for.
Well, when you notice signs that things are starting to deteriorate within your parents or your loved ones, that's the first sign right there.
Mhm,
Even so, you have people who don't live in the same state that their parents live in.
mhm,
And of course, over the phone, you don't know what's going on. You don't know their living conditions because they'll tell you, oh, we're fine. Don't worry, I'm okay. That's not always the case.
mhm,
But for its age wise, it's when you feel like it's needed. It doesn't have to be a certain age. It doesn't have to be over 50. It doesn't have to be over 60. If you feel like your parents need this assistance, even at 40, we'll be more than happy to, go ahead and get you set up as well. You have people who are in the military who
mhm,
always are overseas.
mhm.
They are not home to check on their parents, so that will be another way of actually providing that information. Hey, let me set this service up for my parents because I'm not there. I'm always being deployed for months to years at a time, and I can't put my eyes on them. This is a great service to go ahead to get set up for them.
Totally, totally, totally. So, what are some what are some tips that you could say, if you could, just some words of advice, just for people, whether it's the anybody, some words of advice that you could give them, that, if it was one main thing or two main things or maybe three main things, having an aging parent, just some words of advice, just outside of just anything that may be able to help the people.
Love your parents while you still have them here.
Mhm.
Provide them this service so they don't feel like they're by themselves, that they've left this world alone. Just love them as long as you can because we don't have them. Like my mom, like you said, your mom is 10 years, and mine's it'll be 9 years next week for her. So
Mhm.
I get it. I get it. And my father's still living,
Mhm.
and I'm his caregiver. So
Mhm.
my point is, love your parents, love your siblings, whatever the case may be. Just love on as long as you can. Let them know, and this is a way of showing that you do love them, that you're actually reaching out to get some type of help so you can make sure that their well-being is pretty good. So don't ever give up on your loved ones, your parents or whoever it may be, even as a sibling. Just continue to love on your people as long as you can.
Most definitely. And let me say something to you guys. I'm just so happy that you're in here with us. You are a great part of our SB Nation community. You're a phenomenal part of it. What I want to do we have an opportunity to jump off. Just tell everybody about your story and your journey just here with us, and how you just got here to building my elderly parents, and just how the whole process worked with us through the SB and the SB Nation.
So back in I want to say back in March of this year, 2024, I actually ran across a ad on Facebook, and I was interested in starting my own business, not knowing that, because at the time I wasn't working, so I was trying to find something just to supplement my income. But until I started working again, I said, well, let me just try faith-based business. I want to do t-shirts. So that's how I started off. I reached out to you guys. I got on a web call on a Saturday, did everything, listened to, okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and get started. So I kept telling myself I'm gonna get started. So finally I actually got started like in May. I went on ahead and jumped on, and it was in August, I want to say. It was in August when I actually talked to you, JR.
Mhm,
And you was calling me because I had an appointment with a young lady, She wasn't quite ready yet. She was running a little bit behind. And I talked to you, and you asked me, what did I want to do?
Mhm.
And I was talking about the t-shirts, and he said, "Well, why don't you work on," I mean, you said, "Why don't you work on being working on claims? You know, you're a manager. Let's go ahead and start your own business." I said, "Well, let me tell you this. Let me tell you where my passion is at." And that's when I actually explained how I wanted to help the elderly. That's where my passion is at. And I was actually afraid to start. And you said, "Well, why not?" I said, "Because I was afraid, just to be honest. I was just afraid." I'm like,
Mhm.
"I don't know how to start this." And that's what you say. That's why we're here. We're here to help you start this off. We're going to get you about the ground and running. And as of today, that's what you guys have done. You have got me up off the ground and running. I'm excited. I'm ready to just hit the ground running even more. So now, locally here in Mobile, Alabama, where I'm located at, but we will expand sooner or later as time go on. But I'm so excited that I found this. And people don't understand that God puts things in this path. It's a process. He had
Mhm.
to move you from one to another to get you where you need to be at. We don't understand why, what's going on, why did this happen to me, why I got to start over again. It's part of the process. Trust the process. Once I learned my purpose, what he had for me, this is what I set my heart to do. I'm going to help the elderly. That's my purpose. I am a helper, and I love to help people as much as I can.
Totally, totally, totally. And let me tell you something. You're doing it, and
Thank
I'm just super excited that you're here and that you're making this thing happen. I mean, look. I'm gonna say this to you. The sky is the limit for you. You know,
Yes.
what I want to do really quick is just kind of show y'all the website here. And this is myelderlyparents.com, as you can see, right? This is what you can see here, the actual website. You could come do a free parent check-in, start at $100 here, just $100. You'll go Power of Connection, regular wellness check, support, you know, all of these benefits that we talked about today, having somebody come in and do these things. This is phenomenal, you know, and so this is very, 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 very important. And so I believe that, you know, right now, the one thing that can really change your entire community and your entire trajectory will be just really in the fact that the elderly population is retiring. And so,
Exactly.
you know, this is something that's very important. And I know that this is something that AI and all those things can't really replace, are the care industry. And so these industries are going to grow to multi-trillion-dollar industries, and they're going to be something that, as the baby boomers and all the others retire, man, they're going to have to need somebody to be checking, carrying on them, all these things. And we're just so happy and glad that you're here making that happen.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Most definitely. So listen, guys, I want y'all to go and check out myelderlyparents.com. You know, I'm here, J.R. McNair, here with Mon'nique Prince. And so if you need help with your parents, if you need help having somebody come check on them, give Mon'nique a phone call, okay? This is something that I know that, you know, I pray that my dad is as mobile as possible for as long as possible. But I'm telling you, I know the first person I'm gonna call when he's not. Okay, so you know, and so and I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and
Thank
let's make
you.
this thing happen in the 2025, and just continue to push. So yeah, listen, guys. One resolution that I would say is, hey, just make sure you take care of your loved ones, okay?
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and you give
Yes.
Mon'nique Prince a call for My Elderly Parents so she can help you make that happen.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you for coming on. And this is J.R. McNair with the Entrepreneur Spotlight, sponsored by the SBNation.com. We're super excited to have you guys here for another great of the Entrepreneur Spotlight, sponsored by the SB Nation. Until the next time, keep making it happen.